Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Distinguished guests, partners, innovators, and colleagues. On behalf of UNDP's United Nations Development Programme Nordic Baltic Representation Office, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this Blockchain Impact Forum, which is co-organized by UNDP Alternative Finance Lab in collaboration with Blockchain Good Alliance. It is truly inspiring to see so many change makers gathered here from across the UN system, government institutions, the private sector, academia, and civil society. United here, I believe, in a shared belief that emerging technologies can and must be harnessed as powerful enablers of human development, inclusion, and sustainability. The Nordic region has long combined innovation with inclusion and responsibility. From renewable energy to digital governance and social welfare, Nordic countries have shown that technology can serve both people and the planet. Today, we stand at the frontier of rapidly evolving digital area, blockchain, AI, and other emerging technologies present us with new tools to strengthen transparency, accountability, and trust. This vision is fully aligned with UNDP's new strategic plan for 2025 to 2028, which recognizes that emerging technologies and digital transformation as key accelerators for achieving transparency for all on a healthy planet. Through this planet, UNDP is working with governments, the private sector, and civil society to ensure that digital innovation becomes a driving force for inclusion, sustainability, and long-term resilience. And it is precisely in that spirit of collaboration and innovation that the Blockchain Impact Forum today takes place. This is more than a conference. It is a space for co-creation and action, where ideas can be tested, partnership built, and innovation is directed towards real-world impact. Over the next few hours, you'll hear how blockchain is already driving progress in financial inclusion, digital identity, sustainable supply chains, climate action, governance, and beyond, helping create more transparent, efficient, and equitable systems that advance the Sustainable Development Goals. Today's agenda will take you across key frontiers of this transformation, from global impact use cases and cross-border governance to startup innovation through the SDG Blockchain Accelerator and private sector leadership in Web3 for good. You'll also hear from blockchain protocol leaders who are advancing decentralized technologies for public goods, policy experts shaping responsible regulation, and the UNDP Government Blockchain Academy, which aims to support governments worldwide to build capacity for transparency, trust, and inclusion in the digital era. We are proud to see strong engagement from Nordic innovators, NGOs, startups, and research institutions actively contributing to this effort, harnessing decentralized technologies to generate real social, environmental, and economic impact. As we embark on today's discussion, I invite you to reflect on how each of us can contribute to translating innovation into meaningful progress for people and the planet. With that, I wish you all an inspiring forum filled with new connections, bold ideas, and a renewed commitment to shaping a more inclusive, transparent, and sustainable digital future. Thank you. And welcome to today's Blockchain Impact Forum. Thank you.
Good morning. Wonderful to see so many of you here. And welcome from my side as well to the Blockchain Impact Forum. I'd like to offer my enormous gratitude to our hosts and co-hosts, the Nordic Baltic Representation Office here in UN City in Copenhagen, and also, of course, to our partners in crime, the BGA, the Blockchain for Good Alliance, that we're collaborating with on this endeavor. Just a few words before you kick off on why on earth is UNDP here, and why is an organization that is involved in international development working so deeply by now in blockchain. Basically, our job, if we were to sum it up, is to help countries identify and pursue opportunities for transformative development, to identify great ideas and to push them forward amidst a lot of challenges and difficulties that they're facing on the ground. We work with 170 countries across the world on this mission, and this job is getting harder over the last years and decades, in fact. What we see this year from our Global Human Development Report is that, in fact, the pathways to development that countries have pursued over the last decades are narrowing and narrowing and narrowing further. Our traditional models of how a country goes from let's say poor to rich in a very kind of banal way of putting it, have become much more complicated and much more difficult. And today we are actually in a much deeper crisis than one of international development. We are looking at something I've heard it being called in these circles a crisis of financing or funding. It's not a funding crisis. It's a crisis, a deep crisis of international solidarity that is compounded by conflict, by a range of complex challenges, and by accelerating inequality that is, in fact, sadly often the product of the very innovations that we pursue. Which means that now is actually, it's more important than ever to actually invest meaningfully and deeply in technological and other social innovations that will help countries find new ways of bringing in and mastering and becoming very good at cutting-edge technologies, but also understand and take control of the outcomes and social outcomes of these technologies. And this is something that is getting, of course, more and more difficult in the age of AI, which is why we are looking at artificial intelligence specifically as both an opportunity and a range of technologies that countries need to understand a lot better. And we are working with almost all of the countries in our of our partner countries on building capabilities around this. We are also working on other frontier technologies. Many of our country offices are experimenting with a range of things from biotechnology to blockchain. So it's a very wide range of things that we are working on. But when it comes to blockchain, we stand today on basically a decade of work that UNDP has been investing in and exploring of how and what are the actual opportunities of deploying blockchain development. There has been use cases, there have been successful deployment, there's been different kinds of experiments, and what we've seen in the last year in particular is an acceleration of partnerships and actually a great collaborations with many of your organizations and ecosystems for pursuing some of this at much greater scale. We're also happy to be coordinating the UN Innovation Network's community of practice on blockchain. So it's great to see other UN agencies here today as well, and also part of this journey. It is a joint journey for the UN system as a whole. And specifically, what we have been doing over the last months and years is, let's put it like, three main things. One is a major investment in our internal capabilities and capacities in understanding and working with blockchain as a technology. We run a blockchain academy for our staff that has to date trained around 500 people in working with blockchain. From this academy emerged specific cases, concrete problems. All of our teams work in partnership with some real communities, real governments, real stakeholders on the ground to solve some issues. So they're working on deploying blockchain in real world contexts. We have set up a mechanism for actually sourcing these kinds of challenges and identifying opportunities for deploying blockchain in development contexts. And this has been our SDG Blockchain Accelerator, and you will hear more about it today. I know that there will be also contributions from country offices and from startups and teams that have been working in the accelerator. We now have around 50 pilots globally working in this way. And the third thing is a massive investment in partnership, and that's why it's so great to be in events like this, because it is always kind of a new opportunity to engage and to think together and explore where else we could go together. We are working right now on setting up a blockchain advisory group at a very high level kind of consultation mechanism, which would involve very senior leadership from UNDP globally, with C-level executives of blockchain industry representatives, other emerging techno companies, to actually have kind of a space for strategic dialogue at where and how we work with new technologies and international development. This is underpinned by a growing attention and constantly feeding the accelerator and other instruments through which we will keep identifying specific solutions, and also defining new strategies and new ways to pool resources and to pool ideas and to pool efforts and to bring all of you into the same rooms as much as possible, so that we can actually design investments together and design where we go together. So today is actually about continuing this exploration together. It's around bringing our current insights of where we stand and what we have been learning in the process, bringing in real world cases and exploring new directions for collaborations together. So thank you for working with us, and thank you for being here. Thanks.